Mythical Pokemon. We all know them, we all adore them. Those very special kind of Pokemon you usually cannot obtain during a normal playthrough of a Pokemon game. In fact, each Pokemon main game has at least one mythical Pokemon that can only be legitimately obtained through official Nintendo events or special distributions. Over the past 2 decades, there have been many distributions of mythical Pokemon, and sometimes even distributions of standard, legendaries or shiny Pokemon that were obtainable for a limited amount of time. If you play modern Pokemon games these days, you're probably familiar with some of the event distributions. Often it's a serial code you type into your game to receive a special Pokemon, or you can directly download them through online functions such as Mystery Gift in-game. But it wasn't always like this. Today I want to take you on a journey. We are gonna travel back in time to the days where things felt a little bit more magical. Going back to the year 2011 to have a look at what has to be one of the most interesting and historic event distributions of the Pokemon franchise. Welcome back to the channel, my name is Oliver and today I'm very stoked to give you some insights on something incredibly cool. In my hands I'm holding something very unique and rare, an official Nintendo Pokemon event distribution cartridge. For those who have no idea what this is, here a little bit of inside information about it. Back in the old gens of Pokemon, the consoles weren't able yet to communicate worldwide via the internet, so the early event distributions were very different from the ones these days. One of the first ever Pokemon event distributions actually took place in 1999, where the mythical Pokemon Mew was distributed at Nintendo Space World in Japan. Players had to submit an application postcard and only 50,000 lucky people were able to receive that Mew. For that, they had to bring their Pokemon game to the Nintendo Space World, where they could connect their games to a so-called Mew machine. This machine would distribute the mythical Pokemon Mew to their games. Later on, and up to Generation 3, Nintendo also sent out Pokemon games to toy stores such as Toys R Us or GameStop with special save files that contained boxes full of event Pokemon, so the employees could trade them to the games of customers. But with Generation 4, Nintendo changed things. And here starts, in my opinion, the coolest era of event distributions, the event distribution cartridge era. The Nintendo DS was technically already able to communicate with the internet, but Nintendo understood that not everyone had access to Wi-Fi routers yet, so they decided to develop DS game cartridges that only contained information for specific event Pokemon. These game cartridges were sent out to stores like GameStop so they could distribute those event Pokemon for a limited amount of time. Every customer that brought their own DS with the Pokemon game were able to download these event Pokemon from the distribution card. At the end of these events, all game cards were intended to be sent to Nintendo's waste management facility, where they are presumably destroyed. But as you can already imagine, some stores didn't really send all game cartridges back, and you can find some of them these days for sometimes wild prices on auction websites such as eBay. And this is exactly one of them, the US legendary Shiny Beast distribution cartridge from 2011. Massive shout out to the friend of the GameStop employee for sending me this card and making this video possible. Some of you know I'm a massive fan of the legendary Gen 2 beasts, hence I was hunting for every existing shiny variant of Suicune, for example. And I myself also participated in the Shiny Beast distributions from the German GameStop shops in 2011 to download my own shiny Entei, Raikou and Suicune. But the special thing about this cartridge era is that to this day, even if the event is technically long over, with these cartridges you can still completely legitimately distribute yourself one of these amazing event Pokemon. And that's exactly what we're gonna do today. We will distribute ourselves the 3 legendary shiny beasts, and I will show you how it was like back in the day. On top of it, we will even transfer those across generations, because these 3 events are the only event Pokemon that actually unlocked other events as a crossover feature in later Pokemon games. I hope that this video can share some nostalgic vibes and reminds you of some great memories you had when you were younger. And if you never participated in the events from 2011, I hope this video will give you some interesting insights into some of the greatest Pokemon events we had in the franchise. You can see we are now here in Pokemon Soul Silver, and I already have this shiny Raikou from this event, which I tested out before I started this video, just to see if everything works. And I'm actually in my favorite location in the Johto region. And let me show you this Shiny Raikou I downloaded. You can see it as in the Cherish Ball. This event is always Rash Nature actually, Fateful Encounter at level 30, and it's always shiny. The cool thing is, you can still reset for good IVs. I actually took some time, like 2 or 3 days to reset for really good IVs. In Gen 4 back in the day, we didn't have like the 3 perfect IV guaranteed for each event Pokemon as like in the modern games. Back in the day it was completely random, and yeah, it took some time to reset for the IVs. You can see that it also has like really cool moves like Aura Sphere, Extreme Speed, Weather Ball, which most of the moves are actually moves Raikou couldn't learn back in Gen 4. And that is really cool. And man, I also really love this follow animation of Raikou. It looks really cool. Like the overworld sprites in Hard Gold Silver are still one of my favorite things about these games. But yeah, let's have a look at Shiny Raikou in battle actually. The normal Standler and Shiny Raikou from 2011 event cartridge. Really cool. Let's also show off Aura Sphere. One of my favorite attacks actually. The animation in Gen 4 also looks really sick. Pretty cool. But obviously we also want to have a look at how the distribution itself works, the cartridge, because that's the most interesting thing. And on the left side you can see my DS is actually set back to 2011, and that's because this cartridge only works if it's set to the actual event date. So right now I think the 17th to the 23rd January 2011 actually distributes Entei. So we're in the 22nd January. So if I click on the Pokemon distribution cartridge, it's booting up, and now you can see it's distributing Entei. That's actually the only thing happening. Usually there's not going on a lot, but that's completely fair because the only purpose of this cartridge is to distribute the event Pokemon, right? So what I can do with this game cartridge is when I press A, it says distribution pending, and when I press A again, you can see it's flashing, and it's now distributing the Entei. And if I now go into my Soul Silver, all we need to do is go into Mystery Gift, and then receive Mystery Gift, get via Wireless, and it's already there. It works, like just like that. The legendary trio of Johto. We want to receive this gift. You can see right there, Shiny Entei from the 2011 event. Like, how cool is that, man? So the gift has been received, and we're gonna do the same as with Raikou. You see, like, it's March 23rd, 2022, but with these cartridges, you can still distribute yourself these amazing events, which is really cool. And nowadays we usually have like some, you know, serial codes via a mail or whatever, some serial codes, and after a certain date, after a certain deadline, those serial codes just stop working, right? But with the event cartridges, you can always distribute yourself these Pokemon if you get your hands on one. Now let's have a look at the Pokemon. There should be a green delivery guy. There he is, and good day, you must be Ollie. I received a gift for you, here you go, and that's the Shiny Entei. It's always shiny. You can, if you want, reset for IVs. It's always adamant though. Yeah, it's always adamant. You can see received 23rd March 2022 from the event cartridge in 2011, which is really cool. It also has some special attacks, just as the Raikou. Now we have 2 of the 3 event legendary shiny beasts. Let's also have a look at how it looks in the overworld. I really love that you can also see the shininess in the overworld. That's actually one of the best things about this feature. Really cool. You can see this gray mask on its head. Let's show it off in battle actually. We have a normal, Pidgey, and shiny event Entei in 2011, man. That is so cool. And obviously there's one shiny beast missing, and that's Shiny Suicune, and we're gonna get our hands on that right now. And just to show you what happens if your date on the DS console is not set to any day where one of the 3 legendary beasts gets distributed. If you launch the software, it will literally just say distribution not available now. Luckily, we can just easily set the date back to whatever shiny beast you want to distribute yourself. So now we're 31st January, which is the first day of the Suicune distribution, and now You can see distributing Suicune just like that. Really, really cool. We go again in Soul Silver into Mystery Gift and receive gift, get via wireless, and the legendary tree of Johto immediately there. Easy as that. So cool, man. This literally brings me back into the days when we were like driving to the GameStop and receiving this, and this was literally how it was in the shop. Like in the shop, one of those DS consoles were like you were not able to see that DS most of the times, but that's how it was. And then you went with your DS into the GameStop, into the shop or Toys R Us or whatever, and downloaded the event just like that. And now we're back in game. Let's go into the Pokemart, and the green delivery guy is here again. You must be Ollie. I've received another gift for you. Here you go. And now we got Suicune, the shiny Suicune from the event in 2011, man. This is so crazy. And with that, we have all three. We actually go to the big screen. We have Raikou, we have Entei, and we have Suicune, which is always relaxed, by the way. And also have some really cool moves. They actually all three have extreme speed, right? They all three have extreme speed. And some other really cool moves, and also a really cool berry. But yeah, those are the events in Gen 4. Let's also have a look at Suicune, how it looks in the overworld. Like, look at that. Suicune in the overworld might be my favorite one of the three. Looks really, really cool. The blue mane, the crystal clear head. It looks beautiful. And let's also have a look at Shiny Suicune in battle. In our Soul Silver version, we have a normal Vulpix and Shiny Suicune, the GameStop event in 2011. Let's see a sheer cold attack animation. Really, really cool. One hit KO, easy clap. And that's how the events were and looked like in Generation 4 when you received them with one of your Gen 4 copies. Really, really cool. But the special and most interesting thing about these three shiny beasts is actually that there's a crossover feature if you transfer them to the Gen 5 games, and we're gonna do that right now. Now here in Pokemon Black, you can see I transferred all my legendary beasts over into the Black version from Gen 4 into Black. And you can see it's actually saying try taking it to Lost Lawn Forest, which is really interesting. And that's exactly what we're gonna do, because in the Lost Lawn Forest is a very special event that you can trigger if you have one of the three legendary beasts. And depending with which of the three legendary shiny beasts you're leading, you can trigger a Zoroark event. They go into battle. And if you're leading with Suicune, you see a Raikou over there. But that's not an actual Raikou, it's just the Zoroark actually. Man, it looks so good in Gen 5 as well with the shiny sparkles. Really cool. But yeah, once we go in and make like extreme speed, for example, you can see it fades into the Zoroark, and then you can catch it. Now, unfortunately, this event is shiny locked. You cannot self-reset for it in Gen 5, which is really, really sad. Because the cool thing is if you actually go in and remove the shiny lock via actual replay, you can actually also shiny hunt for uncatchable shiny Raikou, Entei, and Suicune. Like, the Suicune can be shiny, but then there's a chance for the Zoroark not to be shiny. Like, it's kind of like a double shiny thing. It's really interesting. I will link a video in the description of someone who actually removed the shiny lock, found a shiny uncatchable Suicune with that, where this shiny Suicune turned into a normal Zoroark. You want to watch that? I highly recommend checking it out in the video description. But the cool thing about this event is, if you switch your lead to a different of the shiny beasts, for example Raikou in this case, you see Zoroark disguised as Entei, which I think is really cool. You can kind of control as which Pokemon Zoroark transforms into when you battle it. And this is, in my opinion, the coolest event we ever had in Pokemon. You not only get a shiny legendary beast, they also have special berries and special attacks. And there's this crossover event feature in the Generation 5 games if you transfer them over, which is actually a reference to the movie, to the Zoroark movie. If you watch that movie, there are also shiny beasts in the movie and stuff, and that's actually the reference, which I think is really, really cool, and will probably stay my all-time favorite event. Let's have a look at Zap Cannon. see the actual... Oh well, that wasn't one shot, but we can still see Zoroark over here. Zoroark fainted, but that's no problem. I can just reset. But this was the Shiny Event Beasts from the distribution cartridge. Completely legitimate in 2022. I always loved to bring you some unique, rare, or just really cool shiny Pokemon experiences. And I think even though today's shinies weren't hunted like we usually do, I had a blast to travel back in time to have a look at one of my favorite in-game and shiny events. Thanks so much for watching the video, and if you have any questions about Pokemon distribution cards, definitely feel free to let us know in the comments. For now, stay lucky, and until next time in the MKP.